And again, just gently work against them. A few break away, a few more. And once again, just work them off until they're broken away. Okay, so they're all away. We can see a nice clean end here. Okay, none of the actual armourings are hooking over. Okay, they're all nice and straight. So we're ready to move on to the next stage of putting the gland on. So next, I'm going to put on my gland nut, making sure the threads in the gland nut are pointing upwards. So we slide that on and keep it out of the way. And next, we're going to have to work out how much of the PVC we're going to remove to expose the SWAs themselves. We've got to get it so they, and I'll call it the thimble part, this part here, the serrated edge, pins underneath the SWA itself, allowing us to tighten onto the threads above using the nut, the gland nut that we've just put on. So we need to make sure that we don't take too much of the PVC off, because obviously when we throw the shroud back into its original position upright, we obviously don't want to see the SWAs poking underneath. So we've got only a very small amount of area here of which we can remove the PVC and not be seen when the shroud gets put back into place. So in this position here, I'm probably going to come about 1 centimetre, 10mm below the taped area, and I'm going to run round with my knife in that area here. We can be nice and firm with our knife as we go around now this PVC here, because we won't penetrate through the SWA, the steel wire armour in here. So nice and firm with our knife all the way round. And then take our knife and we can remove that part next. Popping that off. Okay, so we've exposed the steel wire armour, which we're going to position our gland underneath those armourings in this section here. The armouring's going to be pinned here, and the gland nut will come up to fit. Make sure we can get these sprayed open in order to drop our gland in the next stage. So what we're going to do next is take our gland with what I call the thimble part, or the serrated edge, down. I'm going to put it onto the end of our cables like so, and we're going to wind this open in order that we spray this SWA, the armour in here, open to drop this on the inside. So this thimble part here will drop on the inside here. It doesn't want to go beyond the thread, so it wants to stop at the end of what I call this thimble part, the serrated edge, and then we can bring the nut up to match. It's going to be difficult now to keep my arms out of the way in order to show you this, but I'll show you as best I can how I'm going to wind this open and drop it in the next part. Okay, so I've got gland body here, gland nuts here, and I'm going to wind it open and just drop my gland in underneath the SWA itself. It's quite a firm rotation as I go round. Okay, so I'm going to bring it up and round quite firmly and then just drop my gland in itself. So let's see if I can do that. So firmly round and then just drop my gland in. So what I'm trying to do is make sure that the SWAs are in the section which I call the thimble, the serrated part. Okay, so that's it. So I just do a nice firm wind and just dropped it into position. What I do next is I pull it out from fully inserted. I just pull it back a fraction and allow the nut to come up to meet the threads.